And doesn't it help when you just take a moment to think more clearly before you just jump, before you just say the words that you can't take back, before you do the things that you can't take back, before you run out on your spouse and you do something that you can't take back? No. Ooh, that's better, right, babe?
Yeah. She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids.
And everything in between.
Even queens reset. Take a breath, fix your crown, and start again. Leaders don't quit, they reset. Every mistake is just a chance to try again.
Hello, dear friend. Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Parent Podcast. I'm your host, Ildiko Ferenczi, and how lucky am I to have you all to myself again. Thank you so much for the messages from last week. I am so happy to be a part of your community and to be someone to lean on. Listen, have you ever had that moment escalate to the point where you wanted to throw your laptop out the window and hide in the pantry with a handful of pumpkin seeds or dried mango slices? That's my go-to, whatever yours is. It may be a handful of organic chocolate chips, I don't know. But if you've ever been in that place, this episode is for you. Today we're talking about the power of the reset. And this is so powerful, my friend. The ability to pause, breathe, and come back stronger instead of quitting. Because I know that moment, in that moment, ooh, doesn't it? It just feels like you want to quit. You want it to be over. But listen, just 5 minutes will refresh your mind, your parenting, your marriage, and your momentum. Listen, most people don't need to start over. They just need to start again. Every once in a while, there's that moment that everything snaps that we just talked about. And you know the moment. Your toddler is melting down. Your inbox is on fire. Dinner's half burnt. Oh my gosh. How many times has that happened to me? I could relate to that. And your spouse asks, "What's wrong?" What's wrong? Nothing, of course. But we all know it's everything. Everything's wrong. Everything is wrong in that moment. For example, oh my goodness, the other day I had this big meeting. I had a shoot. I had so many things that I had already committed to. And my husband pinched his back. And I was so frustrated. I felt so angry. I knew he was pushing himself in the gym and he was kind of limping when he would come home. And this was happening for weeks. I don't know. Someone on the other end is like pushing him. You got to go to the gym. You got to go to the gym. And he's pushing through this injury. And I knew it was coming, but I was just secretly praying, please don't come at this time. Like when I have all these things going. And it happened. And I just felt everything boil up. And of course, I have to be the support system during this time. And I know he's going to be out for at least a week. And everything is going to be on my back. And then I have to take care of what in my head is like, oh my gosh, now I have another child that I'm going to literally have to spoon feed, lift, bathe, bathroom, and do all the things. And I felt all this stuff boiling inside me. And I know that that's the enemy, But dang, it would get frustrating because I have to explain to everyone. I have to cancel, and that's going to make me look flaky. And hold on, my son just walked in here. What is it, babe? Yes, you can say hello.
Hello.
My son just walked in, took me out, but there's my beautiful boy, my little courageous helper. He was such a big help during the week. So back to the topic. Listen, we live in a world that tells us when something breaks, we replace it, right? I mean, that's where we're at. But in life, family and business, we don't need a replacement. We can't literally get a new spouse. I mean, we can get a new spouse, but if we haven't done the work on ourselves, the same problem is going to happen. So why not do the work and lean into the things that we know how to fix so that we can keep our marriage strong and healthy and nourish it? Before you reach for that coffee, consider this. What if the energy boost you're looking for isn't in your cup, but in your cells? I challenge you to swap your morning coffee for Shilajit by Symbiotica. And here's what can happen. No crash, no jitters, just clean, sustained energy, plus mental clarity and trace minerals that our bodies actually need, that are actually starving for, to be honest. This isn't just a supplement. It's an ancient adaptogen sourced from the Himalayas that supports mitochondrial function, stamina, and overall vitality. Your coffee never did that. Okay, let's just be honest. Try it for a week and tell me your body doesn't thank you. Symbiotica's Shilajit is next level wellness, and honestly, you may never go back to drinking coffee. Click the link below down in the bio and get your Shilajit today. We need restoration. So rather than the replacement, we need restoration. And restoration starts with a reset. Therapists call it a pattern interruption. The art of changing state before the spiral takes place. Before the spiral takes place. Faith calls it renewing your mind. Romans 12:2. It urges believers not conform to this world, but to be transformed by the renewal of your mind so that they can discern God's will. And doesn't it help when you just take a moment to think more clearly before you just jump, before you just say the words that you can't take back, before you do the things that you can't take back, before you run out on your spouse and you do something that you can't take back? Either way, the message is the same. You're allowed to stop, breathe, and begin again. Isn't that a beautiful thing? So, and this is a thing too. When my little ones, Danielle not so much, but Destiny, she's more emotional. So there was little things that I would do with her when she would start to have, I guess you can call it a tantrum. There was little things that I would do when she was like on the verge of a meltdown. We'd run around in circles, or she loves to dance so much. We would just dance and just take her out of that spiral, out of that negativity that was coming. And I would get down to her child's eye level, because I think she had a harder time expressing herself, and she needed that help and that support, and to know that I was her safe place. So I would help her communicate with a sense of safety, especially during one of those episodes that she may not be able to navigate herself. And I know it scared her too. So I'm so grateful that I was able to be that safe person, to be her safe person. And that's also, we're going to get to that a little later. We are the safe person for our children. So we really have to watch how we handle when we feel like we can go over the edge or spiral. we have something that we use called the 5-minute reset rule. And sometimes it's shorter. I know we talked about this another week that I use it like a 30-second pause. Dan was like, 30 seconds? What is that? He needs a lot longer. And you need to know yourself. And before pre-babies, as I was saying last time, I need more than pre-babies, yes. Pre-babies, I needed more than a 30-second pause. I couldn't just be over in 30 seconds. But as soon as I had the babies, I don't know, I just felt more grounded. I would look at them and go, why am I spiraling? Why am I feeling this way? So there's little things that I could do. And if maybe I'll link that episode about that 30-second pause down at the bottom. But in this episode, we're talking about the tool that we use. And this time I wanted to introduce the 5-minute reset rule. And we can use this everywhere, okay? We can use this in marriage. We can use it in parenting. We can use it in business, wherever, okay? Wherever we feel that this thing starts bubbling up. So step 1, you're going to want to recognize the drain. When your body tightens, your tone sharpens, or your thoughts start looping. Those are alarms, not failures. Don't get mad at yourself. You're human. We're human. Remember this. And you just have to tame your, what do I want to call it? Tame your instrument, your body. Okay, tame your instrument, tame your body. Your voice starts going to that level. Bring it back down. Bring it back down. You got little eyes watching. So just, it's almost so helpful. Gosh, I am such a different person. And I know we have such great conversations in the community about how we're such different people after having children. What a miracle and how beautiful. I love it. Now, step 2, regulate before you reason. Regulate before you reason. Neuroscience shows that when you're emotionally flooded, logic it's offline. It is offline. So don't fix, breathe, step outside. And if you're not there and you can't step outside and go for a little walk because you got the babies, you're not there yet. If you can safely walk into another room, do that. Or just safely walk into another space. Maybe do a little twirl, just ground yourself and find that area in the other part of the room. Go get a sip of water, cold water, and set the timer for 5 minutes. Okay, it's the world isn't going to end. And if you can only do the 30-second pause, do that. But I advise you for this tactic, take the 5 minutes. Your heart, everything's going to change. Everything's going to change. If you could take that full 5 minutes, I would strongly urge you to do that. Step 3, reorient your focus. Ask, what's still true? What's still true? Truth grounds you. I am loved. God is still good. God is always good. I am blessed. My family is blessed. My children need connection, not perfection. They need connection right now. So I need to get to that place to be able to give that connection. My spouse needs connection. I need to get to that place. And then step 4, return with softness. Now you can talk, plan, or, I know this is hard for some people, apologize. Okay? We have to be comfortable with this. We have to be comfortable to apologize in relationships. It's the only thing that's going to get us to that next level. A calm tone rebuilds faster than a clever argument. I mean, what are you trying to win? You're on the same team, right? You're on the same team as your spouse. You're on the same team as your children. What's the point in proving that you're better or smarter or that you've won. Now you've created a problem because your partner knows that you're against them. You're literally against them. That's what it shows. So get on the same team. Number 5, repeat daily. Resets aren't weakness. If you need to reset daily, do that. They're maintenance. You charge your phone every night, correct? Your spirit deserves the same. So reset daily, whatever that is. For me, I feel like I don't spiral as much. I mean, if something, just like the other day, what I shared with you, but I do many things in my day that helps me reset. I don't miss a day of prayer. I pray in the morning. I do gratitude. I say who God says we are with my children. I do this all with my children, by the way. I close the day. We do our prayer. What could we have done better? What went great? All these things help me and my children reset. I never missed a day. You know, it was so beautiful the other day, and this is a little off topic, but my son came to me. My daughter was right there, and he said, "You know what I love about you?" I said, "What? What do you love about me?" He said that you're always there for me, that I can always depend on you, and that you've never left me, not a day in my life. And I know that you're my safe place. And this is what I was talking about earlier, that is my goal for my children, to be the safe place. To be the safe place, to show them that they matter so much, that they are so important, that their lives matter so much, that they have a beautiful purpose, that they have a destiny, a God-given destiny, and that they know whose and who they are, so that one day they can meet the right person, not just someone that's going to give them attention or say the right things, because we know a lot of people that can say the right things and promise many things, but it's all in the action. And that's what we were talking about that day, is that a lot of people say things, a lot of people promise things, but you know who someone really is through their actions. They say they're going to do something. Are they able to follow through? Do they follow through? Do they say they're good to you, but they're actually not? I need my children to know these things before I set them off into the world. I want them to surround themselves with people that are truly good for them, for their soul, and that is going to walk them to heaven, to walk with them to heaven, and has the same goal in mind so that they can walk their children to heaven. Now I wanted to talk about marriage resets. Sometimes the best reset, and I feel like we need to just have a little podcast about, or we need to have an episode about this, but I am gonna tap on some of these. The one that really hits me is that sometimes the best reset in marriage isn't always a weekend away, although that would be great, but sometimes we don't have that luxury. But it's 30 seconds of humility. When you feel disconnected, try this. I mean, reach for your spouse's hand and say, "Can we start this conversation over?" When you can feel it's starting to get ugly, have the courage and the strength to communicate. Don't run out. Don't walk away. Don't stonewall. Just have the courage to say, "Hey, can we have this conversation over? Can we start again? I don't want to fight you. I want to understand you. Let's talk about this." That sentence diffuses defensiveness faster than any lecture. Because I said so, and blah, 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 blah. No, that's just going to escalate it. That's going to cause distance. It's going to cause fracture. And then you're going to wonder why your husband or wife doesn't want to touch you. Well, in most cases, it's the wife. After they get treated so harshly, they don't feel safe anymore. So we want to avoid that. Therapists call it a repair attempt, and God calls it peacemaking. Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. This verse is a blessing for those who actively work to create and promote peace, both between people and with God through reconciliation. And it's a beautiful thing. It is a blessing. Peace doesn't mean pretending nothing's wrong. Okay, that's so toxic, and it causes like it just causes problems through generations. Not having the conversation, say something happens when the children are young, something they still maybe perhaps to this day don't understand and aren't even allowed to talk about. Goodness gracious, no. You have to have the uncomfortable conversations. You don't think that they don't remember, that they won't remember, that your spouse won't remember, that your children won't remember when they grow up? They absolutely 100% remember, but they're not allowed to talk about it. So we can't pretend that nothing's wrong or that something didn't happen. Okay? It means choosing the relationship over the reaction. You have to choose the relationship over the reaction with your spouse and with your family. And I always say this. Pray over your spouse. This is the other thing that is so powerful, is pray over your spouse. And I think I did. I shared this with you last week, that I didn't tell you how frustrated and angry and just all these different emotions, like the fear, the worry, not knowing what was going to happen or how bad it was going to be. And then also knowing, okay, after praying with my husband, I just got down, as I was saying, I got down on my hands and knees, put my hand over his body, and I just started praying, and I could feel the resentment and the anger of like, we got in a little fight the other week because we were about to do something important. I believe it was a podcast. Oh, yeah, yes, it was the podcast. I said, we have to do it now because I don't want to leave it. He's like, no, I'm going to the gym. I'm like, oh, no, but let's just do the podcast. Let's just do it. Let's just do the podcast and then go to the gym. So he went to the gym, and then he came home broken. And we never did get to do the podcast, which is why I did that solo episode. But I wanted to get everything out of the way because I had the shoot and the meetings and all the things. So big deal to me at the time. But again, I'm just sharing this because you can perhaps relate to something that you felt was big to you or important. I mean, I don't like calling people and saying, I'm so sorry, I have to cancel this. I can't leave because my husband's on the ground. He can't move. I can't do the shoot. I can't do the interview. I can't do the meeting. Part of you is wondering, do they believe me? Should I send them a picture? It is what it is. It is what it is. But what I'm saying, what it all comes back to is that praying over my husband was the thing that released all those things. So that was very healing for me and healing for him. And in that moment of prayer, I knew that he was gonna be okay. I said, by midnight tonight, you're going to start getting better. And every single day, he got a little bit better, which is great. Now, I want to share some parenting resets, because our kids, as I was saying before, our kids don't need perfect parents, but they need parents who can reset out loud. Why? Because they're watching you. When you lose your patience, you should say it. Or when you start to escalate, when you start to get in that overstimulated. I just say it now. It's so funny. I feel like I'm starting to get overstimulated. That's what I say. And the kids know. The kids know that, okay, so she's tired. She's been up super early in the morning. She's been going all day. It's getting late. It's past our bedtime. We've missed our bedtime. We haven't brushed our teeth yet. And I just say, guys, I'm feeling a little overstimulated. We don't want to get to that place. And if you have lost your patience, I'm pretty good, but you just say, Daddy got frustrated, or Mommy got frustrated, or whatever it is that you're feeling, say it out loud. Say it out loud. I'm gonna take a deep breath and I'm gonna try again. Whatever it is, just vocalize everything. Say it out loud. I do this all the time. I do this all the time with my kids. I was just telling you. I think I was telling you in another podcast. It is such a blessing because it helps not only my son, but my little one. She's able to vocalize what she's going through so I can better understand her and support her. And my son too. It's just such a beautiful thing. That's modeling emotional regulation. And research says kids copy what they see more than what they hear. Okay? So when you tell your children, and this goes for everything, about being disciplined or not, I don't know what age your children are exactly, but when they're starting to, you're asking them not to do something. Are you doing that? Are you modeling that? Because they're going to learn from you. They're gonna remember less about your outbursts and more about your recovery. They're going to remember the recovery. And that's the important thing, is that you're teaching them resilience in real time. Okay? You don't have to be perfect. And even when you're having a disagreement with your spouse, they're picking up everything. So just be so mindful. And then there's our entrepreneurial resets. And business can feel like one long string of interruptions, emails, algorithms, unexpected chaos. And instead of giving up, try I'll reset. I know a lot of the moms in our community, we are so blessed that we can just take the time off with the babies, but some of us can't. Some of us can, some of us can't. And husbands, you're still doing it. So you have to be able to not give up. You just have to reset. Close your laptop, walk outside. If you can, remember how I was saying you may not be in that season yet. So find that space that you can safely watch the children from. Or if your spouse is with you at home, then just go into another room for a few moments and pray over your next move. Also, ask, what would 10-minute ago me wish I remembered right now? This is a question for you. Momentum doesn't come from pressure, it comes from clarity. And clarity is born in stillness. Even Jesus withdrew to quiet places to pray. Luke 5:16. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. So if the Son of God needed to reset, so do we. Right? Correct? There's no shame in it. Now, there's this fun little mini challenge that you could do. I mean, when you're going through these things, you want to bring something fun into your life, and you can have a reset jar. Grab a jar and fill it with small reset ideas. And when you're overwhelmed, pull one out. And your children can use it too. This is a beautiful thing. This is why it's fun. This is why I call it fun. Step outside barefoot for 60 seconds. If you're not in that season, find the other space. Another one you can pop in there is play a worship song, right? That gets the mood up. Text your spouse. Tell them, I'm thankful for you because gratitude always wins. And also just saying a gratitude, another card that you could pop in there. I'm grateful for whatever you're grateful for in the moment. And then stretch, pray. What else can the card say? Drink some water. Drink some water. We talked about that before. A lot of times we get dehydrated as moms because we're going. So that's a really good one. And then one of our favorite ones with our family is dancing with the children. Dancing. It's so, my daughter and son love to dance. She'll literally beg me to dance and we'll just dance. So that's one of the cards. So just 5 minutes can save the whole day. And you always want to end on a good note. Even if it starts going sideways, you want to bring it back. You want to get the train back on the tracks. In closing, remember the gift of the pause. Remember the gift of the pause. Before you quit something God called you to, reset. Don't quit. Reset. And before you say the words you can't unsay, reset. If you know you have a temper and you know you have a tendency to say things that are harsh, I don't do this. I feel like because I've lost people in my life suddenly, I'm really careful to not say hurtful things. I know a lot of gentlemen, even women, but I feel like in our community, it's a gentleman that say things that they blow up and they say things that they can't take back. And it causes so much fracture in the relationship that as women, we don't forget. We never forget. We don't. I don't. Maybe not everyone is like that, but I sure know a lot of the women in our community are. I know my daughter is. My daughter will remember things that, and it's not even a bad or it's kind of funny between you and I. Like Daniel stepped on my pillow, but he didn't mean to. But for some reason, in her little sweet mind, she feels like it was something mean, and she just can't forget. Baby, you have to try to let it go. I can't forget it. Oh my gosh, she's so precious. But just know, like, it's something that we don't forget. If you say something like the D word, dang, the D word, don't say that word. Don't use yucky words. I know there's children listening, but yeah, listen, don't use yucky words. Don't threaten leaving. Don't just walk. These are things that you can't undo. And before you assume it's over, reset. Because sometimes the breakthrough isn't in the big change. It's in the tiny pause that lets grace catch up to you. Philippians 4:6-7 says, "Be anxious for nothing, and the peace of God will guard your hearts and minds." Peace doesn't always arrive as a miracle, friends. Sometimes it arrives as a reset. There you go. So, friends, this brings us to our close today. If this episode helped you breathe again, share it with a friend that comes to your mind. The first person you can think of that needs this message. Another parent, your spouse, who needs a 5-minute miracle today. When they receive this, they will know how much you care about them. And please leave that 5 stars and a kind review so we can get this message to those who need it. I'm getting so many messages about how this is really helping people, that this is a community that people need, that this is the place that they've been looking for. And I'm so grateful. We are so great. I'm going to speak on behalf of my husband. We are so grateful for that. We pray over you every single time before each podcast. And when you ask us to, we pray over you when you message us. So tag us at Entrepreneur Parents Podcast or Spicy Little Pepper, SPICYLILPEPPER. I told you the story of how I got that name last week about the Hungarian pepper or the Hungarian pillow dance. And I got a little spicy and I threw the pillow at the audience because they laughed and I thought they were making fun of me, but they weren't. They were just laughing because I was cute. That's how I got that nickname, Cheapish Kish Paprika, Spicy Little Pepper. And tell me your favorite reset. Share your favorite reset with me. What do you do? Because one small reset at a time, just one small reset at a time, we're building unshakable families. God bless you. We love you and we'll see you soon.
We're so glad you joined us this week. If this message helped you, share it with a friend. They might need a reset too. And parents, if you have children, which I know you do, listen to the Entrepreneur Kids Legacy Show. It's full of fun stories, faith, and lessons that grow leaders. Leave a sweet 5-star review and help more families hear these messages that change hearts and build legacy. Thank you for listening to this week's Entrepreneur Parent Podcast. Share this episode with someone who needs a little reminder to reset instead of quit. And if you have children, come hang out with us on the Entrepreneur Kids Legacy Show, where our leaders in the making are making heaven crowded. Don't forget to leave a kind 5-star review. It helps more families hear messages that build faith, leadership, and legacy. God bless. See you soon.